yeah. Fire for fire. Yeah.
Why VRChat got worse? Ooh.
So a year ago now, I made my first video on VRChat, basically going over the game, the good, the bad, and the mounting ugly.
Ooh. Ah! This guy's fat-phobic! Basogen.
And overall what the game was and its reputation. And ever since that upload, I've been occasionally sprinkling in VRChat content every now and again, like your roommate does estrogen into your food. Believe me, I don't have a problem, it's just this game keeps surprising me.
Verified toy? What does that mean?
It means that if you want to have a good time with me, you can.
What? Excuse me?
And as I've stated before, I'm a professional in this subject, as within the years of 2017 to 2021, I was an active player of VRChat that accumulated 3,500 hours on the platform.
Oh no.
I have probably more than 20,000 hours on World of Warcraft, and that's like lowballing because I just estimated my characters that I've had the most. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is baby numbers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
First of all, before you express your disgust towards me, most of those hours were from COVID, and second of all, I don't want to see any feces flinging, especially from the War Thunder community. Yes, it's more respectable to have the same amount of hours in that game, but it is extremely difficult to resist inputting your card information and funding the Omnisire snail to prevent yourself grinding from 2 to 3 months just to get your first front jet wheel. And even if you do get your first jet legitimately, you will proceed to get anally fisted by the majority of players that have invested their 401k to get the latest jets that have yet to have their blueprints leaked to Reddit to prove a point in a rather menial argument. Once again,
This guy has something out against War Thunder, huh?
only slightly more respectable than VRChat. But anyway, I digress. Drag up a chair, let your friends and family know you're going to be absent for the next few days, because your feces porthole is going to be arse blasted with so much disturbing information about this game, you may need PTSD therapy afterwards. Because a lot has changed since that first video, and similar to 2018, VRChat has once again been pushed into the limelight of the internet with an ever-mounting erosion of its reputation. And if you're playing games like CSGO with your game hours publicly shown, and you just missed that Mirage mid-window smoke, your teammates are going to be using that as ammunition to bully you.
I've done that before on like Dota and stuff. If you're like dying and you're respawning, sometimes you'll go into people's profiles and shit talk them, be like, ha ha ha, you have like 10 million hours in fucking Final Fantasy, you fucking loser.
Because VRChat is still the worst. First, I think VRChat needs no introduction,
man.
but I'll give you the cliff notes, as every time I make a VRChat video, I feel like I'm regurgitating the same foul information verbatim.
Played these games before!
Johnny Gamer Haseo!
But VRChat is known and advertised to be a platform where you can communicate and make friends with other people through the virtual world.
Well, I mean, it's not a lie, is it? It's not. It is a platform for being social.
It is currently more infamously known for, sorry, just let me get the list.
ERP.
A majority of players being children, virtual prostitution, to the point where I worry for the future, where there's advertisements on NSFW websites saying they will massage your prostate and make you bust within 5 minutes, are replaced with VRChat avatars piloted by God knows who. Grooming and related topics, dating.
That comes with the territory of chat rooms, though, to be completely fair. And I will play devil's advocate with social chat rooms like VRChat. That's been a thing since, like, the inception of the internet, unfortunately.
Influencing drinking and drug use, terrible moderation, and just being cringe. All of which people outside the VRChat community have this perspective of this game, and that thought process is not exactly an illusion, but I'll talk about each later. But VRChat was initially released in 2014, and as of recently is available on multiple platforms, such as PC, Quest, and now phone. Yes, phone, meaning you are only a few clicks away from your virtual Vietnam. But VRChat is advertised to be a game, but I would argue it's more of an experience. The primitive version of Ready Player One, and a testbed for the first fully immersive metaverse, because it's evolved tremendously since its first release. Because it used to be a game where people would only get on to play the mini-games, which are now desolate wastelands. God, I Miss You, Freeze Tag, Murder 2, and Town of Salem. But the
oh man, Town of Salem. I watched people play that on stream a long time ago. That's so sad.
Player base now from previous years treat and act like this game is a reality. A lot of the player base since 2017 can now be found huddled around a mirror, taking part in socializing, and a small percent becoming self-loathing narcissists.
Why do people sit in front of mirrors? Is it like a ego thing where they have to look at themselves and beat off? Is that why? I don't get it.
Will not spend an atom of a second in a world if there is not a mirror in it. People have begun experimenting with their avatars, where a majority of female avatars are actually piloted by males.
Hang up that computer call. Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
Primarily due to the fact female
that was my voice.
Avatars have a lot more work put into them than male avatars, for whatever reason. And other reasons being they just want to look at a female model, which is the highest form of copium, and because, you know, they're just experimenting. Just put the thigh highs on already, buddy. But a majority of female-presenting avatars are actually guys. My source is this dishevelled middle finger, and trust me, bro, I am an unfortunate expert in this field.
Not the Vegeta professor. No!
As VRChat is a community-run game, it has opened its arms for a plethora of communities, predominantly being the LGBTQ and furries, with community worlds and now groups which help people identify.
Holy crap, that's 1,000 people each in the groups, man! I'm starting to think that this guy is an expert. He's British. Aren't all British men femboys now?
You're a part of that group, which that feature has now also been used for ERP, or erotic roleplay, which the only roleplay happening is the facade you have an active sex life. ERP, which I've mentioned too many times on this channel, and have unfortunately unwillingly been educated on the topic to a disappointing degree, and is more prevalent on the platform than it has ever been.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that, Private Pile?
Men whimpering.
With most players knowing about it and about a third partaking in it. ERP is basically NSFW activities involving 2 or more people in VRChat, where instead of the worry of pregnancy, you're worrying if your neighbour can see you hip thrusting the air through your window, like your life depends on it, or you'll be worried if your bespoke device for this situation can last all of 5 seconds to last the.
There's people who can buy, like, stimulation on their, like, pee-pee and then simulate it through VRChat. Yeah.
The entire session. Yes, there are devices that link to your avatars and interact with your genitals, to the point where the companies that make these products have identified that VRChat is a gold mine and sponsor a lot of social events and clubs within VRChat. Social events such as clubbing and dancing is very popular on the platform, and with things such as full body dancing and now eye tracking makes the activity even more immersive. But most people with full body tracking just sit down with it anyway. Lazy bastard.
It's because they're fat, that's why.
And it has been used in ERP.
Oh,
Going back to ERP, did I mention there's dating apps now for this game? With
what?
The Tinder-like aesthetic, where the dating platform doesn't even allow.
But all of the characters look the same outside of, like, the furry ones. No offense, I'm just saying the models look the same.
Allow you to upload IRL pictures, and have been used for things like one-night stands and successful relationships. The last part may have been a
Man.
lie, because after watching the VRChat HBO documentary, yes, HBO, responsible for the monoliths of shows like Chernobyl and Band of Brothers, and more recently Penguin, did a documentary on
I gotta watch this. I have to write this down. Oh my god, this HBO did a VR chat documentary. What world am I living in, man?
VRChat, where I'm convinced only a handful of relationships on VRChat actually.
Where's the scene of the Sonic characters screaming the N-word? It's important to the VR experience. Next, how I met my Discord kitten. I pray some poor person doesn't pick up VR chat expecting an entirely wholesome community. Yeah, these people have a point, chat.
Work out.
We are 5,000 miles apart, but we're gonna try our best to make it work.
They broke up. And if you're about to comment that you and your virtual girlfriend that you've been dating for a week are actually going to work out, she's probably getting her back blown out like a Panzer Shrek right now on VRChat. And also, do not visit H Party. It's a world for deviants seeking out this activity, and for some reason, the Japanese. And then we have the Quest users, arguably the downfall of VRChat, and the sole reason it has so many shortcomings now, because before 2021, all of the nations of VRChat lived in peace, until the nursery attacked. And the servers were flooded with children who had acquired these standalone headsets that did not require a bulky PC to run the game, and parents were unknowingly buying them a piece of equipment that would expose them to all of
Yeah, the meta, like, unironically, genuinely ruined. It ruined it, man. Yeah.
things I just mentioned,
It killed
and things like
VRChat.
grouping, which is notorious on VRChat and has been
I think they're probably maybe gonna relaunch like VRChat or something with like no meta. There's no way.
well documented, but also made VRChat a place where people over the age of 18 are a minority, and being screamed at by a prepubescent teen in a lobby is a majority. But that is VRChat, and believe it or not, there are a lot of positives of the game, such as communication and being able to make friends. But there are an ever-mounting plethora of disadvantages and negatives of VRChat, depending on who you surround yourself with. And ever since my previous video, things about the game have changed, and
Yeah, now you have age verification, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, they're starting to roll that out.
come to light which are borderline deplorable, and some added features that may be a positive for the reputation of VRChat. Now, a rare victory for the VRChat moderation team, something they have been starved of for consecutive years. In December of 2024, they announced age verification,
Yeah, I saw
something that
this
would
pop
counter
up.
arguably the biggest problem of VRChat. And not to go full Anakin Skywalker, it was the children. As even though a majority
Yo, if I was that person's mom, that kid's mom, I would clap his ass. You screaming like that? Shut the hell up, man. Spoiled little rat. Press I am over 18. No. Chat. You have to send your government ID. Yeah, it's not like, oh, press 18 plus. It's actual, like... Yeah, it's like actual, like, you have to send in your ID.
of the community would say this is an adult game, it only had the age rating of 13, and led to somewhat of a grooming epidemic, where it has been well documented there are individuals that have groomed and manipulated children on the game, even the existence of things like grooming rings, and adults that have
Oh
courted
my
minors
God.
into relationships to
I can't say I'm surprised because it happens in real life too. Maybe not to this extent, but it definitely does. There's so many peds on the internet, bro. It's insane.
exploit them, some of which happening in the public lobbies of
grooming them and
VRChat
shit.
where they show no shame in what they are doing. And once again, this has been well documented. There are a plethora of videos of individuals that have been doing these activities, such as the most infamous example, which we've talked about before, Tech Gangster.
13!
You know what? You know what's funny? I'll still jack off to them.
Can we find out where this guy lives and like put him in jail or something? Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should probably do that.
And is known throughout the lands of VRChat for his deplorable actions, and the fact that the VRChat team does relatively nothing about
That, see, I don't understand that. Like, if you have evidence of them saying something like that so nonchalantly and unironically, I feel like that's a moderation issue. You are doing something wrong. I'm sure people have sent them clips.
it. The VRChat team had as much involvement as the local cuckold lord, simply just watching it happen.
Really
all they will do is ban
disappointing,
mob his alt accounts at a snail's pace, and within that time he's probably made another alt account because he has not been hardware banned or IP banned, both of which can be circumvented, but no attempt has been made, possibly due to the reason that most VRChat mods are volunteers. They do not get paid for this, especially people moderating the Discord, because for some reason these people wanted to be internet janitors, most likely getting paid well below the poverty level, to the point where they sustain themselves on McDonald's sauce packets and self-approval, and most of them got this opportunity through being a part of the community before, the most notable being Tupper, the said to be face of VRChat, and someone on the level of something like a head mod. But before age verification was implemented, it actually fell more into the responsibility of the groups of VRChat, who in their own group instances would do age verification, but were very limited to asking people as soon as they joined their age and date of birth.
February 25th, 2006.
Hoping that if they were a minor, they did not know simple math. But I bring this up because the VRChat team aren't the most innocent themselves. I'll talk about that later, but as of right now, 10 plus years of the game existing, and they finally discovered Rock and Stone and decided to announce age verification, which is a process where you download an app and show your credentials and government IDs to verify your age, and to verify you are over the age of 18 years old biologically, but probably still have the mental capacity of a toddler, but you will need to submit a picture of your ID and a picture of yourself. Then you will have a badge on your VRChat profile showing you are over the age of 18. And things like adult instances will be available to you, and people that are not age verified will not be able to join these instances or worlds, meaning you can goon to your heart's content without traumatizing a child.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to go to the gooning worlds anyway.
Can't wait for the plus 18 public orgies to start. Obviously this system isn't 100% safe, you can use somebody else's credentials I guess, but it's a step in a good direction and there's only so much they can do. But the system as of right now is still in testing, and is not readily available to every user. Right now it's only available to people using the group feature of VRChat and in the larger ones. Groups that you can join through the game and display above your head, like the Arizona Tea group, the Daddy Marks fan club, or even the free use group, because everyone needs to know you're a walking, talking fleshlight. And this feature, along with the NSFW toggle they added recently, is their first attempts at trying to protect the children that use VRChat. But even though VRChat moderation has had a slight reputation boost from this, and are no longer considered to having a workload equivalent to any HR role, but the VRChat moderation team still has the reputation of summertime liquid dog feces, and rightfully so, as recently within VRChat itself, by chance on a midnight rooftop world, I got to meet Verum, who must have been very confused by my avatar.
It's a...
Verum is a VRChat content creator that focuses on the degenerates and predators of the virtual world with a cinematic aesthetic, and told me he doesn't even monetize any of the videos, so he makes virtually no money exposing these people. But we got talking and he told me about a video he did with Brandon FM, someone that does similar videos but applies it to the broader internet. And from the release of that
I bet you these guys get demonetized and flagged constantly, even though they literally expose pets. I love YouTube.
Video, it was age restricted not too long after, which means its growth was stunted from the get-go, and not a lot of people got exposed to that video, so make sure to go check it out, because they did a deep dive on the average VRChat user, with surveys and statistics that definitely impacted their own mental health, and lo and behold, the average VRChat user is a degenerate, quite possibly no surprise there.
I feel like like the MMO players that the phenotype that used to get lost on MMOs because MMOs are so boomerfied now and considered like boomer, like it's a boomer genre like RTS. I think that people moved on to VRChat, essentially. The younger people, I mean.
But they also looked at the mods of VRChat, from the Discord mods to the actual mods, including such people as Tupper. And the results were horrifying. Some of the Discord mods were found to be doing intimate activities in public instances with modified lolly avatars that had genitals added to them. And the same person had a video recorded of them ERPing in it, in which during a...
One of your mods, too. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like if I was a mod, I wouldn't... If I was a mod and I was a massive degenerate, I wouldn't do it on main. But then there's people who would argue and say, oh, well, they're doing it on main for the power tripping.
Live streamed community event for VRChat with a large amount of people watching online and in person in the instance. Someone would find a way to modify one of the video players and show everyone present the video, including Tupper, who either found out because he was there or watching the live stream. And some more information on the moderation team not taking criticism very well. But in the previous mentioned moment, the head mod Tupper had seen one of the people entrusted with making VRChat and its community a safe place and been provided with a whole Google Drive showing how this specific mod wasn't doing very mod things, including the intimate activities in
Bro, just stop gooning on main. It's not that hard. Why is that difficult?
Public instances, which could potentially have children in it, arguably the demographic that should be protected the most. And all he did was look at the Google Drive for 12 seconds, proven in the video, and then basically said there's nothing he can really do about it, even though he has the highest permissions in the Discord, and this person voluntarily administrates the Discord, and even though he says he can't ban people within VRChat, was responsible for and got credit with banning the people that were showing the video in front of the live audience.
Zero accountability, zero responsibility. I understand that they're not getting paid, but like from a moral standpoint, isn't that kind of insanely cringe?
Which, to give him the benefit of the doubt, doesn't show he has this power but has some part in it. And conveniently enough, after the video made by Brandon FM and Verum was launched, the video showing the average VRChat user and the people moderating them, I would be told by Verum himself that the time and effort they put into this video, gathering all the information and statistics, that video did a lot of good for the platform, but not in the way they would expect. The VRChat mods were forced to recognize the video, which indirectly helped with updating the report system and the public outcry for
the fact that a video has to come up for you to do something, man.
Age verification, which 6 months from the release of that video is now in testing. They would also take action against the mods recognized in that video, but they were not banned. They were just temporarily removed from the moderation role because they investigated themselves and found nothing wrong.
Where have I heard that before? These people aren't even getting paid, by the way. It's not even, you can't even argue and say, oh, it's the Corpa Borpa, right? Yeah. We investigated and found nothing.
Now, it's really funny and worrying the fact that they only recognize this now there's a video about it, and even Tupper himself looked at the information for, once again, 12 seconds, but only did anything about it when there was a full video made about it and they were dropped in hot water. And those people are still mods to this day. But even more surprising and worrying, for some reason they would ban Verum from the official VRChat Discord and would have done the same with Brandon if he did not have a different name for seemingly no reason. And so
yeah, there's no reason. Oh, you're spreading false information. Okay, well then do something about it then. I love it, man. I love it.
Some of the messages talking about Brandon FM after the video are removed, but the ones critiquing him are left up. A moderator is supposed to set a good example and protect the users of their community from people, especially one who is still making alt accounts to this day and causing havoc on the platform, and investigate things given to them by their community to further the goal of protecting users and improving the reputation of the platform as a whole, not just supposedly looking at a Google Drive link for 12 seconds.
You couldn't even walk away and get yourself a cup of coffee or something. You had to say, "Yep, found nothing." I can't do anything about it. Sorry, buddy.
But that is the VRChat moderation team.
Michael! Don't leave me here!
Michael!
Now recently there has been a new increase in people watching VRChat content, mainly the trolling videos.
You know what's funny is that Second Life used to be the target for trolling, and then Second Life died when VRChat became a thing. People used to troll on Second Life all the time. It was so funny.
We're gonna go on a date, me and you.
Oh, I'm a European already, okay.
Oh no, I'm not European with you.
Especially from YouTubers like Proximity Chat, Ratgrave, and maybe even Mesa Mayor. Or maybe you've been looking at the live streams of people.
Let me guess, they get banned for harassment. That's what happened to Second Life, by the way. A lot of content creators that I watched that would troll, like soft troll, by the way, not like actually harassing people. They would soft troll people, and they would get their accounts permabanned, and they would start freaking out at them, and the moderators would send them like emails saying, "Stop this, or we're gonna keep banning you." Yeah.
Like the last bastion of VRChat, Rafflegator, who is still making innovative content within the VRChat platform and unknowingly making viral meme content like this.
Whoa, what the hell? Hello?
Freeman!
Ah, hi.
Kill yourself.
What the fuck is this?
That would be something Freeman would do, to be fair. That would be really in character.
Thing.
I'm an anomalous.
What do you do?
I do my best.
That thing was the first apex predator, by the way. But especially for the rising audience for these YouTube videos, it is a window into VRChat, where most people that would have
Why does her ass jiggle every time she moves, bro? What is going on?
never been introduced to VRChat see it for the first time, and normally harbour a very negative opinion towards it, because in most of these videos you see people that take this game way too seriously, like it's real life, and I'm not even talking about Phantom Sense.
Move, bro. Can you like go somewhere, please?
Why?
Why are you being so fucking nosy, bro? Because I fucking told you to, bro.
Oh,
What do you mean?
I'll move for sure.
You have people that do depraved acts in public lobbies.
Are you playing with those? Bro, are you playing with those?
You
This is my
weirdo!
girlfriend. If I want to mess with her, I can.
You have people offering depraved acts in public lobbies.
Bro, if you do that in a supermarket, I'm clocking you. You playing with your girlfriend's tits in fucking Walmart, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I'm calling the police.
I'm an escort, so I kind of.
It's VRChat though. Who the fuck cares? It's a public lobby, you dumb fuck. You like there's proven to be having children in the lobbies, man.
Do this for people. It's $25 for an entire hour.
It shows people getting constantly inebriated.
I can't see my menu.
Do you need like a chiropractor or something?
Borderline creepy activity.
It's complicated.
Right, but I caught you with your red rocket out.
To the point where there's a VR.
Why does it just say a red rocket? Is it because he's a furry?
Chat to catch a predator.
Just wondering real quick, what a 33-year-old man, what business you have talking to a 16-year-old girl?
Children.
Excuse me?
Who's this?
I'm his child. What the f are you on about?
I really.
I'm sorry, what?
Business you have talking to a 16-year-old girl?
Children.
Excuse me?
Who's this?
I'm his child. What the f are you? On about?
I really doubt you're his child.
I'm his VR child. Leave me alone.
And it shows people.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I don't know if they're actually a kid, but VRChild is still fucked, man. They're my adopted VR child. How about you adopt yourself a fucking job, man?
People that may be a little too addicted to VRChat.
The longest you played this game for without stopping.
When I first got my headset, I used to play for like a whole ass day, and I'd fall asleep in VR, and I'd wake up and I'd play more.
It would be total.
That's strong. That's powerful.
Totally unfair to say every VRChat lobby is like this, and that your first VRChat lobby is going to look almost identical to it. Rest assured, the people recording these videos had to at least spend an hour on VRChat and go through only 3 public instances, because it's a little over a third of VRChat that are like this, because all the sane people have been pushed into private instances. Because believe it or not, VRChat isn't the most healthy influence. Once again, going back to Verms and Brandon FM's video, they did a survey of over 1,000 VRChat players, showing that a lot of them are addicted to VRChat, do things like ERP, and are just overall lonely. Yes, VRChat is a social game where you can speak to people.
I remember some guy in 2016 said that he bought a headset after they spent most of their time on VRChat, because they transitioned from playing World of Warcraft all the time to basically stopping logging on, and we would see him on Steam on VRChat all the time. And yeah, he became a catboy. I wish I was kidding. Yeah, he became a catboy and only exclusively hung out on VRChat. He changed his profile picture to a fursona as well. Yep. Most linear pipeline. No, I'm being for real, man.
People all over the world, make lifelong friends and have fun. Maybe even find a relationship. Just don't tell your parents you found them on VRChat, because the adoption papers will be coming rather late. But what I'm finding increasingly common is it is not good for you. Even people that disliked social games before, and or social interactions in general, get addicted to the environment that is VRChat. It may be a result of wanting to make new friends constantly, a good time they had in their early stages of VRChat they're trying to recreate, or even
If VRChat died, I bet you some people would be really, really upset and probably suicidal. I'm not saying this like in a mean way. I genuinely think they're so sucked in, they would probably become extremely depressed. And I feel bad. Same with WoW. Yeah. But WoW has a bigger sample size, to be fair, but VRChat is pretty big too.
Yes, or even the social environment of VRChat itself, which they may have not experienced outside of the headset, all of which I just mentioned can cause addiction to the game, and if they don't find any of those things, can become lonely or depressed. It's to the point where people take this game too seriously, getting on the platform at least once a day, or just never taking the headset off. And with things like VRChat jobs now, where some of the groups pay people to moderate their instances.
Second Life had that as well. I remember I was a kid and my brother thought it was funny to show me Second Life. And I remember walking through a world and I was like, wow, this is like virtual and stuff, like virtual worlds. There was one listing to like be a waitress at a virtual cafe. That blew my mind, genuinely. They paid you like the money in the game or something per hour. I was like, what the hell?
Some of them may never need to take that headset off, viewing and treating VRChat equivalent to real life. Some even sleeping and eating in VRChat. Personally, with all my hours in VRChat, I have seen this happen countless times. This game is unknowingly addictive, and it gets worse, because it also enables other addictions, mainly those involving alcohol and drugs. As also seen in the Verum and Branham FM video, over a third take part in the drinking and drug culture of VRChat, where there are groups and instances with parties happening constantly. And
it's hard to moderate that too, because it's like certain drugs like marijuana is fine in certain states. How do you prove someone's actually drinking and not faking it? How do you do that?
Some drinking almost daily because of the influence of people in VRChat or VRChat itself. I even managed to get in contact with someone on Discord who's a popular VRChat content creator and face of VRChat themselves, who because of VRChat and its drinking and drug culture found it hard to quit both and are still struggling with it.
Ooh, that's a big factor actually. A lot of drug addicts and alcoholics are social addicts, and if they are within that social circle, they can't quit. Yeah, I've heard many such cases. They won't drink if it's like by themselves, but if it's like a social occasion, they have to drink. It's insane.
They mainly blamed the culture itself and the
Yep.
groups within VRChat that enable and influence it, but at their request I will not be involving their name. And it doesn't stop at
Aw.
drinking or drugs, as virtual
guy.
prostitution has become normalized in VRChat and is
Again, Second Life walked so VRChat could run. I swear. I remember seeing people trolling strip clubs in Second Life. Some really old videos. And then like big bodyguard dudes would walk up to be like, hey, you can't do that, and then like boot them out of the room or the world or whatever. It was so funny, God.
fairly easy
Second
to
Life
find.
is
There are
so
people
old,
offering
dude.
it in public worlds, there are groups for it and Discord servers, and unfortunately it's quite profitable, either getting paid to do NSFW acts or just sit with somebody for an hour. And this is the unfortunate
Yeah,
reality
right.
of
Sucking
VRChat,
their
that when
pee-pee
you
for an
start the game
hour.
up for the first time, nobody tells you about. Because there is nothing like VRChat. Except Second Life, but that's a rabbit hole in itself. There is
But it's, again, it's just the same thing, but with a different cone of paint.
nothing to relate it to, there is nothing to
Yeah.
use as a benchmark. And the game is constantly getting more complex, and quality of life within the game is constantly increasing.
Wow.
And I think from the result of people already treating it like it has real life qualities, it's only going to become more immersive. And more people and more problems are going to come along with it. With it being in the top 25 for Steam players, even though it released on Steam in 2017, with 40,000 people being constantly active on the Steam platform. That is just on
That's
the Steam
just
platform, by the
Steam.
way, showing
Yeah.
there is no shortage of players. I think that is evidence enough.
Fucked up.
God! What a up day!
Now, I know I've made numerous videos showing
Is
the
that
bad side of
Trainwrecks?
VRChat, and constantly make jokes about it, but like a League of Legends player that constantly talks shit about the game and blames Riot for their terrible match.
Is this Dante?
Matches, but 5 minutes later we'll queue for another game. Because not to
Yep.
get cheesy or anything, don't start crying, you little bitch.
Addicted.
I love VRChat. That almost feels like arsenic in my mouth saying, it's definitely not one of my favourite games because, one, it's not a game, it's an experience, and that place in my heart already goes to Final Fantasy 15, Serious Sam, Halo Reach, and the 2016 to 2020 days of Overwatch 1.
I'll disagree on the Overwatch. 2016 to Season 4 Overwatch, that was peak. And then they shit the bed.
But I've made so many good friends and memories in VRChat, and worlds like Murder 2, Midnight Rooftop, Presentation Room, The Great Pug, Never Have I Ever, and the very old Rest and Sleep are all places that I have memories in. And even though I'm not playing it as much as I did before, I
That's
still log in every now and again. Because once again, VRChat is something else. And I think if you don't
Nostalgia.
take the game too seriously, and actually play it in moderation, and you find a group of people you actually enjoy talking to that aren't complete degenerates and actually have your best interest in mind,
Yeah, good
which
luck with
may be
that.
scarce on the platform as of today, but if you find that, I think you're truly going to have a good time on that game. Just once you find that group of friends, never go into a public lobby once again. But yeah, that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Based, little platypus British femboy VRChat enjoyer. Zapata, guys, what positives do you think VRChat brings to the table? In moderation, I think it's a fun outlet where you can goof around with people that you cannot meet in real life. Where it's like physically impossible, you can't go and meet each other. In moderation, again, I think it was really good and mind-blowing in Second Life that I could talk to someone that was like from Australia or something. That's a sparrow? I thought it was a platypus. I don't know, I'm blind. But anyway, thank you. Thank you. Royalty is here. Thank you for the video. I think there's positives to everything. I think World of Warcraft has its positives. I think League of Legends has its positives, even if it's very few and, you know, far in between. Yeah, it depends how you look at it, chat.
Fire, 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 fire.